the Bahamas. It's time for Your Lane with Coach Trish Hanna. Yeah, time to empower, educate, and encourage your women to motivate you through whatever you've been going through. We can talk about it. We ain't passing no judgment. So don't be ashamed. It's all the same. Stay in your lane. Your lane. It's whatever your real life looks like. Stay in your lane. Come on, talk and don't be ashamed. Your lane. Let's have a conversation on what we face every day. Tune into your lane talk show. It makes us feel good just to know we're not alone. No more will be isolated and just aside. I want you to come out. Just don't be afraid of your heart. Don't be ashamed. It's all the same in your lane. It's whatever your real life looks like. Stay in your lane. Come out the talk and don't be ashamed. Your lane. Let's have a conversation off of we face every day. Your lane talk show with Coach Trish Hanna.
Fresh, floral, and fabulous are the scents of spring. This month, refresh your scent style and save up to 20% off on small bottle sizes. There's always a bouquet of fragrant samples and giveaways at all of our convenient locations. Visit us today and have a fling with spring, only at the Perfume Bar.
I want to make sure before I start the show that DZ is off vacation now and back in the studio and in the spirit. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But I'm grateful that this is a sponsor of the show, so I don't mind it being played first. That is fine. Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday and welcome to Your Lane Talk Show with your coach, Trish Hanna. It is wonderful. It is wonderful to be in your company today. This is definitely the day that God has made, and we will continue to rejoice and be glad in it. Guess what? It's 85 degrees here in Nassau, Bahamas, for those who are watching internationally. Yes, that's the type of weather we're rolling with. And guess what? It's not even hot. It's not hot. A lot of people are out on the beaches. The wind is blowing. It's not humid. That's what I should say. You know, the wind is blowing. Things are good. You can actually drive the car without putting the air conditioner on. It's really, really good outside. It's a beautiful, beautiful weather today. And of course, while you're planning your family vacation, stop on by to any one of our islands and, you know, enjoy what we have to offer. It's more than just sun, or sea. Okay. Believe me, we have beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people who are welcoming. The food is superb. They ain't paying me to say this now. I live here so I can talk about my country. It's a beautiful country. All right. Come on down. Stop on down to in any of our islands in the Bahamas. All right. For our first time listeners, thank you so much for joining us. Your Lane Talk Show was created to educate, empower, and encourage women of all ages. Yes, this is a women's talk show. However, we do have men who follow and listen to us as well. And we always welcome you on board. In fact, you're going to have a surprise today. There's a surprise for you all today, men. All right. Fathers, to be more specific. Last time we were live in studio, we had with us certified decoy dog trainer Cliff Bow. Sorry, Cliff, I went blank just now. All right. I know you kill me. You probably listening now, but we had Cliff Bow with us from Cliff's K9 College, and we discussed building trust and connection through proper dog training. And I got a lot of responses from this because there are a lot of people who I'm not the only one. The only person who don't know anything is Odessa because she knows nothing about dogs. But I'm not the only one who used to run in the road like a crazy woman, calling my dog name and telling them to come. And Cliff taught us, hey, all you have to do is earn their trust. Just stand still, get a little Vienna sausage in your hand, take it out, and just say, come, baby, you talk in a high-pitched voice. These are some of the things and tricks that he told us. High-pitched voice, and let them come. Don't move. Don't cast the dog out, and don't run behind the dog. Just stay still and let the dog come to you. That's a part of it. That's building trust. All right. And of course, there's so many other things. He spoke about house training, how to allow the dog to, when to sit, when to attack, etc. You can watch that on episode 92, Building Trust and Connection Through Proper Dog Training on YouTube. Okay, so just look up Coach Trish Hanna on YouTube and then episode 92. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it's time. It's time. Go ahead, share the page, go and tag people. I want you to go ahead and share because today our hearts are open wide to embrace the courageous souls who walk the extraordinary path of parenting children with autism. Join us as we honor Autism Awareness Month by capturing the remarkable stories from our guests who are presently navigating the beautiful complexities of raising a child with autism. Now, together, we'll delve into the depths of their experiences, the highs, the lows, the laughter, and the tears. I already brought this with me and it's packed, okay? Because that's the type of show, all right? But there's still laughter. There's still laughter, all right? We also will be hearing from a young adult who is on the autism spectrum, but making tremendous impact in the culinary world. And I'm excited to hear him. I'm excited to talk to him. And of course, I want you to stay tuned. So I want you to share the page with those who may have a child or yourself, you may have family members that you wanted to share or their teachers or whomever so that they can have an idea of what to expect, how to cater to the needs of those who may be on the autism spectrum. And of course, the parents have an idea of, they could speak intelligently about what to expect and some of the signs that you can see, that you can take. And then at the end of the show or near the end of the show, we'll have a representative from the Reach organization who will discuss further about, telling us about autism and, of course, sharing what it is that Reach does. All right. So tune in. You can listen in on Star 106.5 FM dial, channel 976 on cable, or log on to Facebook, Your Lane Life Coaching on the Facebook page to watch us live. Now, Odessa, I don't know if you went to this one, but I want to know what are your predictions for today. Just come to me real quick and let me know what your thoughts are on today's show.
So initially, I was going to say that we're going to have 75% aha moments, 10% laughter, and 15% teardrops. But because Trishawn already have a tissue ready, she can make me cry, and then she can make DZ cry, and everybody else cry. So I think we're going to have to say 65% aha moments.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have to say...
That's now, you're adding and you're subtracting and you're division and multiplying. It don't add up. So
go ahead.
She's going with these numbers where she knows she can't calculate probably with 65. You need to use numbers like 70 and think round it up.
You wasn't such a crybaby.
Okay.
My numbers would have been
I'm sorry.
already.
That's my bad. Because he had
my numbers.
Go.
Then.
Stick with your numbers.
75 moments, 10% laughter, and 15% teardrops. That's it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. 15% teardrops. Wow. I was thinking 20%, but okay. Let's go. Your Lane, episode 93, Parenting a Child with Autism, is brought to you by The Perfume Bar, John's Shoe Store and Accessories, Your Lane Life Coaching, Nor Rice, and Pesticides, distributed by Asa H. Pritchard, O. Henry Candy, distributed by Asa H. Pritchard, Libby's Vienna Sausages, distributed by Asa H. Pritchard, Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store, Unity Gospel Party, hosted by Campbell's Production, and Journey TV Jubilee Red Carpet Event. Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store is fully stocked with a huge selection of fabrics for all occasions. Get 50 to 75% off of laces right now, meaning tomorrow, of course. Purchase your prom fabric for from Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store and enter to win a luxury ride to your prom. That's Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store on Mackey Street. Now, do me a favor, write down the number if you have any questions. 817-0758. 817-0758. Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store. Campbell's Production presents to you their Unity Gospel Party happening this Friday, April 26th at 7 p.m. at the Bay Restaurant located behind Fish Fry opposite the Container Port. This lineup is lit, y'all, featuring artists like Ronald Campbell, DJ Chubbs, E-Man, Beijing Rogers, the singing prophet Bishop Lawrence Roll, and DJ Counselor. Now, when you put Beijing, DJ Counselor, the singing prophet together, that's already an energy in itself, by itself. All right. This is going to be a Holy Ghost party that will not stop. I promise you. For ticket information, you can go ahead and call 820-3083. That's 820-3083 or 823-1755. 823-1755. All right. Now, if you consider yourself as someone who is intentional, values growth, and is always seeking inspiration and renewed confidence to walk in the fullness of who God has called you to be, I, Trish Hanna, am inviting you to Journey TV Jubilee Season 4 launch party. Journey TV is a talk show that features strong and resilient men and women who transparently share their stories in hope of inspiring others to heal and thrive in their own journey. Season 4 featured stories of triumph from their future wifey, Lataris Whitfield. That's a, yeah. Entertainer Bodine Victoria, that's our Bahamian girl. Author and motivational speaker Corral Pinder, whoop whoop, Corral, and Christian youth activist Beijing Rogers. Beijing, you hot, you running, you hot. She's doing great things, and of course, she deserves her praises. Film producer Ramona Wright, and Journey TV will, for the first time, publicly debut teaser clips from their episodes. So we want you to enjoy live audience question and answer period and engage in networking activities with other like-minded attendees. It's all happening Saturday, May 11th at the Atlantis Theater. It starts at 6:30 p.m. and they're having an early bird special that ends tonight, actually. So go and get your tickets now. You can go to www.islanddreamsmanagement.com/Journey TV Jubilee. All right. That's islanddreamsmanagement.com. The flyer is on the screen. And of course, the flyer will also be on your Lane Live Coaching Facebook page for further information. You don't want to miss that. I'll be there. There are a lot of people that are going to be there. We want to watch it. We want to support. We want to have fun. Okay. So now, without further ado, ta-da! We want to welcome our guests to the studio. These are resilient parents along with not there because they're not a couple. Let me just share that first. All right. They're not a couple. All right. Because ain't nobody coming for me. The wife and the husband, they ain't coming for me. Okay. We have with us in studio Mr. Ricardo Miller with his wonderful, yes. Look, right. Cutting up. I like this one already. All right. Son, Jude Miller. And then, of course, we also have with us Denise Bannaby. And she will be sharing with us. And we didn't even know this because I was only thinking about one. Denise Bannaby has 2 children that are on the autism spectrum. And of course, we want to share today. So, of course, we want you all, anyone that you know who may have a child who's on the autism spectrum, or even if you're not certain of what's happening, because, they say at a certain age, you won't really know until you've been diagnosed. And I think they say age 3. I'm not certain. Y'all will clarify that, right? So I'm most certain that parents, they know something, like they feel something, they are aware of something is not right, even before the age of 3, right? So if you know someone like that, you have a sister, you have an auntie, you have a friend, you have a cousin who may be insecure about what's happening with their newborn child, please ask them to tune into today's show. All right. We want to inform you and educate you as much as possible. And of course, to encourage you and then help direct you with a wonderful community that embraces situations such as autism. All right. So let's go ahead and welcome our guests. Welcome, Denise Bannaby. Welcome, Ricardo. Welcome, Jude, to Your Lane Talk Show.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing today?
Good.
Yeah,
Everyone's doing well?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good. Jude, you good?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I love it. I love Jude's energy, y'all. Trust me, we're going to have fun today. All right. So, of course, before we get into anything, as I was saying before, this is directed to the parents. As I was saying before, they doctors usually diagnose babies at the age of 3 plus. All right. And my first question to both of you, so I'll ask Denise first. You said you had 2 children that were diagnosed, but were there any signs from you as a parent, as a mother, prior to the diagnosis from the doctor?
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. Well, first let me say I have three kids. I always seem to, at least Jasmine think, I always seem to leave out. But it's Justin, Jasmine is the normal one, the middle one, and then Jewel. So Justin was diagnosed around 3, as you were saying, that magic age. But we knew something wasn't right. There was no eye contact, no speech. He didn't really like children. He just walk away all by himself and stuff like that. You want me to get on to the second one?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
And so Justin, and then I waited 9 years to have Jasmine, and she was normal. And you know, one day I was by the pool. Justin was taking lessons, and this gentleman said Jasmine was probably 1.5 or maybe, and he knew Justin. He said, say you never know, she may seem to be normal now, but she could still be autistic. I said, Lord help me. Help me keep the Jesus in me. But anyhow, let me go on to the third child.
Oh, boy.
So Jewel,
boy.
Jewel came. So Jazzy came 9 years after Justin. Jewel came 13 years after Justin. She was born in 2006. So before she was even 12 months of age, I diagnosed her. I knew. I knew she was autistic also. And boy, that was a time. But I'm not going to run on and on. But yeah, she was autistic also.
So I want you to share what were some of the things that you saw that, you knew for a fact. What was she doing? Because I knew you told me about the first one.
Yeah.
What was she doing?
She was doing basically the same thing. No eye contact. But of course, she was younger because I said before 12 months, I knew. But Justin, we had that time. He 1.5, he 2, with a dada, with a mama, nothing, up to 3. So that was a bit different. That was the novelty. That was the first one. But Jewel, I just, woman, we looking and saying, I said, no, Lord. But I knew she was no eye contact. She was well, I mean, it was later when she became like aggressive, a bit aggressive and stuff. She was very sensitive, more sensitive than Justin, I would say. And so I knew. So, I mean, that night when I finally accepted it, at least to say, yes, she is, I cried basically almost all night with her. I cried almost all night, and
I didn't start the show yet. I'm trying to keep myself together. Oh,
I'm serious. I cried because I was just about coming out of my depression with Justin.
Wow.
10 years of depression. And, I said, Lord, when I got up the next morning, I said, no, I can't go through another 10 years. I could be too old. My husband could leave me, because you're in a depression.
Women think about these things.
So when I got up the next morning, I said, God, you have to help me. And I finally accepted his help. And I went from that place of depression, hopelessness. Oh, God. And I accepted his help, and I started to feel joy. I just said, I just have to deal with it. I already went the road with Justin, so this one should be a bit easier, but none is easy. So, but I had joy. I didn't have that. Because in those 10 years, I looked happy,
Yeah.
I was the best actress, but I wasn't.
That's deep right there. That's deep right there. And I love the fact that you said, because that's actually going to be one of my questions, what was keeping you? And you said God was helping you. So we're going to talk a little bit about that later. Let me ask Ricardo. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I have to just announce this. Yes, we do have a male. We have a father in studio in a women's talk show. Yes. And this was the surprise, okay? Because we wanted to get a father's perspective deliberately. We wanted to get a father's perspective with a male child. We wanted to get a mother's perspective with a female child, because especially with based on what I've been told, when it comes to autism, they said only a very small percentage of females are diagnosed with autism. And so this is something that is new to me. And let me just read it. This is 1 in 36 children in the U.S. have autism, up from the previous rate of 1 in 44. boys are nearly 4 times more likely to be diagnosed with autism than girls. 4 times more likely.
Mhm.
So when you actually get all of the friends that I have whose children are on the autism spectrum, all of them have males. So it's very rare. I think I probably only have one friend that has a female, and she was actually on the show last year, and she's tuning in now. So to hear a woman's perspective with a female child, that is just wonderful, because we're going to get into some stuff, the female stuff and puberty and stuff as the show goes. All right, so Ricardo, finally, Ricardo, we've been talking. We ain't hear you yet,
Boys.
so we want to hear from you, sir. Now, as a father, how many children do you have?
So me and my wife, we have four. Actually, I have four. So that's all the children I have. Me and my wife, four. Four kids.
4 kids. All right. So you have
Actually,
4.
will be the second one.
And
out of the 4.
Okay. So you had a child that was not on the spectrum,
Correct.
and then Jude,
Correct.
and then the other 2
kids.
are not on the spectrum.
Correct.
Okay. So can you, as a father, were you able to tell prior to the diagnosis?
Well, I wasn't familiar with autism.
Right.
Me or my wife were not familiar with autism. And I think the thing is, you see these commercials, but you don't realize, because you don't associate them with you. I had no relatives or anyone that had that. So yeah, I saw them, and okay, Autism Speaks commercial. But but when we saw him, he was not progressing, because we used the first child as a kind of a guidepost.
Right.
So he was not achieving the milestones that we thought, like, okay, he was kind of behind. And one of the things parents wanted also speech. You ask about what are some of the things.
Mhm.
So his speech was delayed.
Mhm.
Also, like, noise irritated him. He would hold his ears.
Mhm.
Also, he didn't play with the toys appropriately.
Mhm.
And so these were kind of signs. We're like, what's up with this boy?
Can I ask, you use the term appropriately, playing with the toys? What does that mean?
All right. So if it was a truck, roll the truck along the ground
Right.
with wheels.
Right.
If it was a basketball, bouncing the basketball. So children would pick that up either by observation. He didn't pick those up and do those. And it could be some other toys. He'd probably, and we're talking about now, again, we didn't diagnose him. He was not diagnosed until about 3.5. So
Mhm.
in that time, so we're not talking about him as a baby, because we didn't really pick that. We just think those were normal marks. But when he hits like 2, there was a concern that, okay, there was some things were not happening. So we're like, okay. And then he was just not thinking. Like I said, playing with the toys. Also,
What
like
was
I
he
said,
doing with the
motorcycle.
toys? So he had the toys. What was he
Yeah,
doing?
so like a vehicle, like a truck.
Right.
Instead of rolling the truck, a boy child would normally take the truck and he would
roll
play
it.
with those trucks. He'd park them, and
Mhm.
he didn't do those things. He would either hold the truck up and look at the truck and stare at the truck. Or
Okay.
if it's a basketball, a child would take the ball and throw it and do it. He
Mhm.
didn't do those things, even
Mhm.
when you threw it back to him, or he didn't pick up the social cues. So my oldest son, after one, my older boy, he already, and as a father, you sports, oriented,
Right.
so you look in to see if this boy, how
Yeah.
what I can get him
NBA,
into.
Yeah.
We'll talk about, but he wasn't achieving them. And I had a son already playing. He wasn't playing baseball. By 3.5, he was already playing baseball. So I'm like, okay, this boy ain't progressing.
Mhm.
He's not picking up even when I throw him the ball, batting the ball. And like you said, the key thing was also communication.
Right.
He just couldn't speak at the appropriately at those. And then also potty training. He wasn't potty trained early on.
Mhm. Okay. So at what age did you take him to get a diagnosis?
3.5. So our journey started. It was about 3.5 when we went and had him assessed, and then the assessment came back that, again, it was not a decisive decision. The person didn't say it. I'm
Right.
not sure if it was a legal thing. They didn't
Right.
want to say he was on autistic.
Right.
They said he appears to have the traits of autism, something like that.
Right.
But then we as parents say, okay, that's it. And then that led us to then see a speech therapist. And along that journey, I came across Kim Gibson, who says, you know what? Because she was also seeing the therapist, son was seeing the therapist at the same time.
Mhm.
Said, you know what? There's this group, this support group. And then it's like that. I didn't really cry initially. My wife took it hard. I didn't, because I guess maybe it's the nature of man. We just get up. How do we fix this?
Right.
How do we fix this?
Right.
What do we do? And so I cried at some point, but it wasn't like that initial in the initial instance.
Did you share what age you was
Justin,
diagnosed? Yes, the first and the
3.
second. For both?
Justin at 3.
Hmm.
Well, I tell you, I did myself.
You didn't, but you didn't do you didn't do no
But no, I
testing,
took
no.
her to probably when she was maybe a little older, 1.5, two maybe two, to Dr. Michelle Major. She was in the Harbor Bay,
Hmm.
yeah, where the Solomons is.
Hmm.
She isn't there anymore, Dr. Major, and she officially diagnosed what I already know and already said myself. So yeah, but Justin, I know when we took him to PMH, the specialists had come in and they said that they knock his knee and I guess he would have some reaction, all kind of things, and say yeah.
Hmm.
They said he's autistic and he'll never do it, never. So anyhow, we got him that night from work. We both bankers. I mean the room was just Peter wasn't talking nothing. You could feel that heaviness. Yeah, so it was rough.
Wow. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, but just before the break, I want you to share, because you said you came home from the hospital, but even before that, you said that they were doing some testing, and you said they hit his knee just to see what other forms of testing were there, if you can recall.
Mm. I don't. I guess more is they were asking you, what is the child doing? Is he has speech? What I mean, if he's and they look at him, see the eye contact and all that. So they didn't do much in my estimation, but
Mhm.
we know it's no speech and something ain't right.
What you recall the testing?
Yes, that's about right. So, initially, we went to a private physician,
Mhm.
and she, what you call it for the children, whatever the term is for the child,
Pediatrician.
pediatrician.
Mhm.
So, we brought up all our concerns, and sometimes then she said she ran a test. So there's actually a test
Mhm.
that they do, and if the child fails one of the 7, I think it's called an M chart or M chart something.
Mhm.
So you run this test, and it's like 7 points that they
Yeah,
test
that's
them
true.
on.
Mhm.
That's true.
And if they fail one of those 7, then they indicate this child need to be should be checked out because he is displaying
True.
or she is displaying autism.
It wasn't
Wow.
Gaza.
Were you
I think they
were
call
you
it.
there when it was happening?
Was
Or
I in the
they
room? I
took
think
you
I might
out
have
of
been
the
in the
room?
room, but I think they do it. I can't remember the details.
Okay.
Sorry, I
That's
can't. I don't
okay.
want to
That's
give
all
you wrong
right.
information.
That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. And if someone who are our lines working yet? If anyone, no, they're not. Okay, we're gonna ask. If you want to, you can call in, or if you want to, you can WhatsApp 376-8689, 376-8689. If you've just had any form of testing for your child, and if you recall what the testings were, what are some of the things that they did during that testing, you could just let us know because we want this. We're targeting right now. Well, everyone that has a child or knows a child or is related to a child with autism or on the spectrum, but primarily to those first-time parents, those ones who just got the diagnosis, those ones who just or not even get it yet, because like they said, we can't really say anything until about age 3 or so. But that something is not right. Something isn't. I'm looking at this child and I love this child, but it seems as if they're not the average kid, for lack of a better word. Something is, they're not looking at me, they're not giving me eye contact, they're not throwing the ball, as Ricardo alluded on, and whatever other symptoms that you may see. Do not let Google tell you what diagnose your child. Don't go to Google. All right, tune in, and of course we'll get further information for you on that. Let's take a break.
Of course, we had many other testings after that time.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All about the Justin.
All right. So I want to thank the Facebook listeners and audience that are tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and ask a question. If you want to share, you can go ahead and share. I can read it out. I normally don't say the names or on the radios. I'll just read, what this person input is or what they posted. So if you want to share words of encouragement for those who may be tuning in, parents who need that extra boost or that extra push, you can go ahead and post it on the Facebook page. questions to our parents, you can go ahead and do that. And I can see that the representative from Reach is tuning in now as well. So if you have questions, she may be able to answer you either responding here, or she may respond during the time that she is on air. Okay. Can you make sure ACH ads are in? Because that was quite short. Just usually longer. The breaks are usually longer. Can you make sure they're in? ACH pictures ads. That, welcome back. For those who are just tuning in, we have with us in studio two parents that have one that has two children that are on this autism spectrum, and I might lost just now. Sorry. We have a mother in studio with two children on the autism spectrum. We have a father in studio with a child on the autism spectrum, but not only is he, on the autism spectrum, but he's present. So we want to hear from him as well. And we're excited to hear from Jude today. But just before we get to talk to Jude, we were just asking these parents what were some of the signs that they saw prior to being diagnosed, or their children being diagnosed. And so, of course, they share things like not catching the ball, not playing with the truck appropriately, not playing with the toys appropriately, just staring at them. They shared not having eye contact. Some were saying that the children were nonverbal. Now, I don't want you to go ahead and diagnose your child because they are nonverbal. That's not the only thing. My daughter did not start speaking until age 3. Now she cannot stop. All right. So don't try talking about, oh, something wrong. No, just take your time. Sometimes it can be for various reasons, various factors. Now, I'm not even going into what happened because honestly, that's what the doctor told me, nothing wrong, nothing wrong. And I went to get a second opinion. It so happened that she had fluid in her ears. All right. So, y'all know, y'all mothers, we have intuition. All right. Okay. I can leave that there. So I'm going to ask you parents, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced in parenting your children, and how have you navigated them? So let's start with you, Denise, and we work our way.
Okay. So you want me stick with the daughter, with Jewel, or with both?
Well, let's stick with Jewel as a female, and if you need to change, that's fine.
Yeah. Well, with Jewel,
and how old is she now?
Jewel is 17.
Okay, awesome.
And Justin is 30.
Mm-hmm.
With Jewel. But as I said, with Justin, I had already, the groundwork. So I think I knew what to expect with Jewel, though. When you're autistic, they're all different.
Right.
Something is different about every child. You could believe
whether
that.
autistic or not, right?
Well, that too.
Yeah.
But so you can't say, well, okay, that worked for Justin, this could work for Jewel.
Yes.
But we did our best. She had, as I said, she had her diagnosis. And the one thing I can say with Justin, I mean, we did so much tests and everything with him. We went away. I stayed away for 3 months getting ABA and occupational till the money ran out. And that's when he had one child and we both were working. So now with Jewel, now we have 3 children. So it wasn't so easy, and I'm not working now. So funds are limited. So I couldn't do all of that with Jewel. I did the best I could do. I couldn't take her away because, how is that going to work? I'm going to leave my husband with 2 children, and he has to work that while I'm away with Jewel. Because I said with Justin, I left him, but it was me and Justin, and so he just worked his. So with Jewel, we did what we could do at here. She went to Willard Patton with Miss Vassal, and that was great. They tried to work with her, and then she went to Galvantines. Then I pulled out of Galvantines, and she went to a few different little special schools.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really want to say to those new parents, do the best you can do with your child. You cannot compare it to any other person's special child. You know how your child is going. And one thing you have to remember too, you can't spend all your money on the child. You can't spend all your resources because you still have mortgage. You still have to eat and all of that. So you do the best you can do, and you pray and you ask God to help you with the rest. Because I know some persons they mortgage this, do that. And when you look, that situation is even worse.
So with you investing in the first
Child.
child, right? You feel as if, oh, because I've already done that, I know what to do. Did you put matters in your own hand and helping Jewel, meaning you were doing some of the work that you probably saw, or did you find someone locally to try to assist?
Well, as I said, we did do a little local thing with some private stuff, but it was super, super expensive. So that didn't last long. And as I said, I had just come off that depression hill. Or is it a hill? It's a dark hole. So listen, to be honest, I really couldn't put all of my effort into that. So I need to apologize right now to Jewel, but I couldn't. I mean, I did not want to go to that pink porch up in Sandlands. So I really couldn't put that effort in like that. But I did whatever I could do at home with her. And I feel good about it. Now as I said, she is at home now. She's 18 in June. She loves music. She hums. Well, both of my children are nonverbal. So she hums and she loves music. She like those musical toys, and they love water. Be careful for the water because they would drown, right? So we have a pool. We got a pool, and we got some entertainment in the backyard. The TV, the pool, the trampoline, so they can have somewhere to go to break the routine.
Right.
And so we got the pool in 21, and so everyone can swim except Jewel. So I saw early last year would have been 23. Miss Jewel, she doesn't want the vest on anymore. So she's pulling it off. She can take it off, say, okay, this ain't gonna work. So I got some swimming classes for her last year. And she didn't get the full swimming time to learn it. And so she just started again last week. And my girl dog paddle from the deep to the instructor.
All right, Jewel.
So she's almost there. I say, look at Jewel. And so, yeah.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
So-
I must commend you. I mean, I understand that, hey, the finances may not be the way that it's supposed to. I don't want you to feel as if you're a bad parent or a bad mother because of that. I hope you don't. Please, but you are doing the best you can. And there are a lot of people on here that are saying the same thing. They admire what you're doing as a parent. And I want you to continue to allow the light to shine. You said you holding on to Jesus. That's the only thing you hold on to. That's your anchor. That I would say the only thing that's the best thing.
Well, my husband
hold
is
on
in
to.
that mix too.
Yes, and
Because
thank you
without
to your
him-
husband. And guess what? How I could start this show and don't acknowledge the spouses. And Odessa, you're fired. You're fired, Odessa. All right. I want to take 2 seconds just to acknowledge the spouses. These are just representatives, but we know there's always that son. Thank God, because a lot of people don't have that. But I thank God that you have spouses that are here with you to help you and to keep you grounded.
Definitely.
So please, I just want 5 seconds just to acknowledge your spouse, your husband.
Hi, my darling, Earl Bannaby. I love you, and I thank you for 35 years
Come
of
on.
sticking with me
Hey,
and
glory.
our children.
Amen.
And to
Mr.
my
Ricardo.
and to my wife Shan Miller. She's just the cream of the crop. I'm blessed to have her, and she's the wonderful mother. And I just give God thanks for her. I mean, she don't give me no problem. Me teeth and tongue will bite, but I thank God I ain't trading it for no one.
No,
Amen.
no one. No one.
Amen.
No.
Mm-mm.
No, but Ricardo, just want to hear your journey. Want to hear your journey with fathering a son on autism spectrum. What were your views like? What were your feelings? What were your emotions? And be real. I know I don't want you to be too real where it hurts his feelings because he's here.
True.
But I
Yeah.
want you to be real enough so that other fathers that are tuning in can
Yeah.
resonate with what you're saying.
Right. So Pop, after being diagnosed at 3, that you're looking at what school or with the therapy.
Mhm.
And Denise mentioned therapy is very expensive. I think for half an hour session back then, and that was like 14 years ago, was like $50 for half an hour. And that's on the cheaper side.
Mhm.
$50 in half an hour. And we could have done, I think, either 1 or 2 sessions a week. That's it. And they needed more. But what we did as parents, they taught us, they tell us you have to do these things.
Mhm.
And so one of the things we encourage persons in our community also is you have to, you say don't do Google. We tell you, encourage you, do YouTube, learn some of the behavioral methods, because a lot of them are on YouTube.
Mhm.
So you as the parent, you're the first line of defense. You're the first protect. You're the primary caregiver. So you have to do that. And so we we just jumped on that bandwagon after we couldn't afford that more than that time. And after the person left, then we started to work with him and then finding the schools. So we had him in public school and it wasn't working out how we want. So then there's all that additional expense of having to put him in a private school where he can get that one-on-one. And that ended up being a blessing for us because there was a teacher who followed him right up to the time he graduated.
Wow.
Through 2 schools. And even when we end up having our kids school at home, and she was the teacher for them.
Awesome.
So for a year. So, and because again, we were trying to get us whatever it could take to get him up. And so it is expensive. It was a tremendous sacrifice. But we encourage them, if you can afford it, get on it early. Some parents are leaving and going to the States where they can get these kind of care. But we were not in that position to do that. We were not prepared to do it because we had other kids as well. Now, so the challenge was what I indicated as you were asking earlier. So it would have been the funds and then just finding the right school for him. That those were challenges earlier. While we expected the challenge from him, like the potty training, the attitude, changing his behavior, that was a part of it. So I don't really focus on that. But even now, as he is 17, is the puberty issue. And so that's what we're now facing, and you now have to deal with that.
Can we go there? Can we
Sure.
go there? Let me ask.
Me?
Because you said that Jewel is 17.
Yes.
Right. And so at some point she had to hit puberty. So if you do you mind sharing about that? Okay, good. So we're gonna start. That's a thank you. You mind or you don't mind? We need to know what's going on. But we wanna hit that because, like I said, you do have parents who have females, with that. So we got right. That's fine. I'm not gonna if you don't feel.
No, I'll talk some stuff.
Okay,
go ahead.
But let's ask Ricardo to go first.
So some of the things that we're seeing is that as a boy, his erection.
Yeah.
So he's waking up and then sometimes he doesn't know where it come from,
right.
or we don't know where it come from, and we don't believe it's because he's watching anything out of the way.
Right.
All right, and then too, so and that can happen anywhere, and so he and I don't want to do it in front of him, but you know what I'm talking.
Yeah.
He has to be pushing down.
In public.
In public.
Okay.
Sometimes because it just comes on when he's facing a normal child would probably move away from the things that may stir that, and then it'll be like that. So you're dealing with that, and then you also dealing with how he may look at the opposite sex and so forth. So you want to guard against. You want to make sure that nothing happens out of the way with other children or whatever.
Because it's being curious.
Yeah, and so so he may see something. And he may not know exactly, but he know it stimulates him.
Right.
And so you really have to guard for anyone with children. You have to now watch out for these things and guard them because you don't want your child to be an abuser, and you don't want your child to be falsely accused, of being inappropriate.
Right.
And so those are some of the
so how were you? How did you deal with it? How were you disciplining him? Or how are you dealing? Oh, it's present. Okay.
So
how are you dealing?
So one of the things is you talk with him, and you try to find out what it is, but with puberty it's difficult because even when everyone goes through it, and then we don't encourage, like some parents will tell you they'll expose their child or whatever for him to get his satisfaction. I've heard parents say that, but but we won't do that, and we just kind of tell him it's gonna happen, it will pass, and we're seeing that it's less and less. So we're thinking he's passing through that cycle, and so but we just talk to him about it. We be open with him. We don't be attacking him or him, but we also are protective of him and others just to make sure that there's nothing out of the way.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. So
I don't think I need to share nothing else on that. That's all good to me.
Perspective.
Exactly. I don't know what she's trying to do. That's a male's perspective.
Okay.
All right.
All
so
right.
of course, with women and puberty and what we do,
Yeah, but with Joe, I don't see any like sexual stuff with her, like trying to stimulate herself. But with menstruation, I was concerned about that. Like, boy, how you gonna deal with this? Yeah, because with Justin, I don't know. He probably nighttime and thing or whatever. But I hired deal with Jewel. So I thought she would be like afraid, but I see that when she is menstruating, like sometimes her mood, but Jewel is aggressive a little bit anyhow. Justin's more calm, and he needs to because he's a big guy. So thank God for that. But Jewel is more she is very sensitive, and you say something to her ain't sound too good, she can remember that. She's a woman, eh? So but with the menstruation, her appetite may change. And as she's not speaking, and so I would probably like crush a pill for her and put it in her juice or something to, because we know how it feels with menstruation.
But does she display pain with her cramping? Does she display
As I
that?
say, her aggressiveness, or she may cry sometimes, and she don't usually cry like that. And
So you're
so
able to know that something.
like I would write down, say, okay, she should be here. Sometimes she may be a little late or a little, but I noted to say, okay, her period is coming soon.
Mhm.
So that's why she's doing this and feeling that. And so I try to give her a pill, or just tell it'll be okay, or I'll just like hug her and we'll lay down in the layback sofa or something,
Mhm.
that her just calm down. But I was surprised it was not as bad as I thought that it would be.
Can I
But she's
ask you?
handling it.
Because that's what I was going to. How she handling with
Just with,
having
yeah, well,
sanitary
with
napkin?
that,
Yeah.
I would put depends on her and the
Okay.
napkin in the depend,
Okay.
because some of them pads don't stay in place good,
No.
good, and
No.
especially with these children.
No.
And so we would do that to keep it more
Mm-mm.
safe and clean and thing. So that's how we work that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you for sharing that. Thank
Mhm.
you so much for sharing that. All right. So we're gonna ask, how do you balance the needs of your child with the needs of your family and other responsibilities? Because you have three. You have your husband,
Mhm.
especially, and then you have
Mhm.
three other children that you have to
Mhm.
deal with, and your wife.
Correct.
So how is the
Mhm.
balance?
Well, as I said, in Justin, I left we were saying who could leave the job to deal, with Justin, because he needs some help here. So in, let's see, 2000, when we went to Freeport the second time for my husband's career,
Mhm.
I left the bank because we're both bankers. And so I was doing, as he was saying, look in Google, but no, I was taught how to do the ABA, because I went, as you said, those 3 months to the US. I went with Justin, and they was doing the sessions, and they were teaching me at the same time. So when we got back home, I did ABA with him. Oh man. I mean, you can imagine. And he never got, because he has a real motor problem, he never got that button down.
Mhm.
You do ABA, you do discrete trials. You will have, just say you have the toys over there, you have Cookie Monster, you have whatever, them other people, right? So I say, we sit here, I say, Justin, go bring me Cookie Monster. He go, everything except Cookie, right? Except the Cookie Monster.
Mhm.
And I have to do this. I have to mark, like, how many times he did it. Now, once in a while, he may do it. And you do that, it's like what is the word? Repetitive.
Yeah.
You not,
Repetitive.
you imagine me? I'm waking up on, I'm an extrovert. I left my job because, of course, my salary was smaller. But of course, Earl was not going to leave his job. I have to leave my job. And I mean, we agreed on that.
Mhm.
And so I'm home every day with Justin, 24/7, doing discrete trials. It was like bonkers. I said, Lord, help me through this. And so I did the ABA with him and all of that. And Lord, I even knocked, what's the question? Knocked out
Oh
my
Lord.
head.
I want to know, how are you balancing as a woman, as a wife,
Yes,
as a
so
mother of
yes,
other,
yes.
another
So
child who is not
so
on the spectrum? How are you dealing with
yeah, so that's with Justin and all that. And then Jasmine came along, and she was normal. And so it was a balancing act. You have to, I'm sure, Jasmine, are you listening? I apologize to you. I apologize to all my children. I'm sure, and Jasmine says it. Say, you love them better than me. But I said, with Jasmine, they need more attention than
They
you.
do,
You know
yeah.
I love you. You know that. I can show it to you sometime. But they need our attention. So and then of course, don't forget the husband.
that? Of course.
You got to keep that marriage going,
Right.
hot and spicy. So, and after all that, I ain't got no energy, but
Right.
oh, thank God, he helped me through that. Earl, you were quite good, right? Yeah, we had no
Can I
problems in that area.
take you? Can I allow you? What? Jasmine says, "Mommy, why are you airing out my business?" That's the all you talk about. I think you saying she's saying something sweet. Okay. Jasmine, we love you. Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so it's a balancing act. It's really a balancing act. Even now, and then my mom was with us for 15 years. She had like everything, right? High blood, diabetes. She lost a leg. She lost two legs. When she lost a second leg, I said, Lord, how am I gonna make this?
Mhm.
So I had to get a housekeeper. She lost the second leg in 2000. 2015. So I mean, like my world was just like, I was like, I felt like it was being pulled here and there and everywhere. But only God, I tell you, only God. So I thank him, and I thank him that we were able to afford a housekeeper to assist me. And God is good.
I love it. So you had balance, you had a housekeeper, you had support from your
Well,
husband.
not all the time now. Just got that
The
recently.
housekeeper.
Yeah, like
Okay.
2016.
I got you.
Hmm.
Okay. And but only God. That's all I see you now. Only God, only God.
Hmm.
Um go ahead, Ricardo. Let's hear about how you had to balance. You're the father, you're the husband, and of
Mhm.
course yourself, your own mental stability.
Yeah. So so one of the things that my approach has always been, this journey is not about me. So I have to avoid embarrassment and shame. It's not about me.
Hmm.
And so I would take him with me
Hmm.
from young. I would take him in the bank, wherever it is, because I have to teach him. I realize I have to expose him and teach him because he has to learn how to
Hmm.
act properly in public. So, and I would cover that shame or whatever, because this is not about me. This is his journey,
Right.
and I have to support him through that.
I
And so
love
me and
that.
my wife, we would so it's different things. One, get him out there, have him exposed, so and then also give him the same opportunities that a normal child would have, so to speak. So Jude actually plays. He plays the trumpet. He also plays the piano. So we gave him the same exposures that we gave to our
Other
other
children.
kids, except like sports. It was a challenge, and I didn't. I believe he would have done okay in that too, but I didn't do it. I think
Mhm.
just with having four children, the oldest being five. I mean, we had four kids with the oldest being five at one point. This one, the set of twins. And so yeah, so those, and then we like you said, by the grace of God, we were able to balance that, and I can't look back with no adverse or any regrets.
Mhm.
No.
I look, we had and then another thing what we experienced church. Sometimes you'll find in church they'd come and tell us, your son carrying on. You have to get out of the church and go deal with him. And then that was just too much for us. We had him leaving the church
Uh oh.
and go. So these are some of the experiences that you would have until we found a church where he was welcome, so to speak. And
Wow.
we were all welcome, and he participated, and that helped us grow because he was a part of a community. He was welcome into that community. And so that's one of the things to encourage. You have to have your child involved. You have, as a father, you take him wherever you go. Don't worry about the looks. Don't worry about the stairs. Um, you know, uh, these are great. This will help the child, and so that's how it would go.
I love that you said that. You made so many good points. The first one, of course, going that you don't even think or consider that, hey, if I want to go and worship God with my family, I have to consider whether or not I get kicked out of church.
Correct.
That I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about that because I know about, when you're taking them and exposing them out in public, sometimes they have the tantrums at times.
Right.
I have friends who have children on the spectrum as well. So they throw tantrums at times. They
Correct.
go on the floor, they shout and they say things like "I hate you." Some of them would say stuff like that, and you be like, okay, well, it's okay, and you calm them down. They're not really as embarrassed. But when you get to the point where you want to go and worship church and you're thinking people will understand, you think they have the love of Christ, and I'm not bashing, but I'm just saying, you have some type of remorse, empathy towards a family like that.
Yeah.
And then they're telling you, hush, you need to keep your child down, you need to calm your child down. That's a problem.
And one of the things is, I sent Barnabas pastor times. And listen, he's a great example because his son is autistic, and he don't, his son was involved,
Mhm.
and there's no shame.
Right.
And no matter what, that child or their children, they were welcome at his church, and he was a great example.
I love that.
Because the church, people know our church is similar, we're smaller, but Pastor Tynes and Barnabas, he laid the foundation in my mind for the autism community, special children. They were welcome because reach or attended there many
I love
times.
that touched me just now. Jesus said, bring the children unto me.
Yes.
Forbid them not. What you doing? What you doing? Shame on you for those churches. And we ain't going there today because I would go there, but I don't go there today. All right. I want to take a quick break. I have other questions, but I wanna talk to Jude because he's been so patient. So patient. You want me to ask one more question? That's fine. So I have lots of questions. Let me see which one I'm gonna do right now. My other question, parents, is what misconceptions about autism did you encounter most frequently, and how do you address them?
Well, I don't know if I really encountered it, but I know I've someone had told me before that when they were in the airport with their child, And one of their friends said, so is when she said whatever, I guess the child was acting a bit. So the person said, yeah, he's autistic. So the person said, is that the new word for mentally retarded?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So I mean, it's nothing wrong if you are, but they don't even, I guess, use that word anymore, mentally retarded. I mean, if a person has some problem, I mean, they need to get help, right? Why are you going to say it like that? So a lot of times, people can say, I know I was, when I was the aide for Justin, the teacher's aide at the private school in Freeport, his classroom, the children, they were good. And I guess it just was me. I was in that
Mhm.
depression. And he was playing on something that you climb up and then I don't know if you're supposed to really jump down, but it was an open space. You're supposed to go slide down. And I don't know how he got turned the wrong way. Like he fell on his back so hard. And I mean, that affected me so bad. I took him in the classroom and I wailed. I said, what's
Aw.
wrong with me? But yeah,
Well, you're a mother. There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with you. You felt that. You felt that. Ah, Can I read some of these questions? That's a let's read some. Because my thing here now and me, I got a minute. DZ said I got a minute. They said that's a what am I reading? This one is on the screen now.
Yeah.
That's right. Take them wherever you go. That's you took it off. And I look at it here. I went to the store a few minutes ago and my son was overstimulated, so he began to, I guess, throw a scream. That's the word. Okay. And make noise. Can I tell y'all the nasty looks we got? I don't think, and that's the reason why I appreciate Autism Awareness Month, and I'm sure that you do it, throughout the year as well, but particularly this month because you want others to be aware of some of the things that they may encounter. Of course, even big great tell us when we stimulated by too much noise, you'll be like, not today. I need to go. This is too noisy for me, or if it's too much light after you don't wake up and someone just open the curtains just like that, so the lights are. So even with us, so you can imagine them. All right. So we have to be to the point where we understand what some of their symptoms are, what are some of the things that they demonstrate and what they portray during situations, and try to just, I don't know, just adjust to it. That's the best word I could say. Adjust instead of giving. It's nothing worse than a mother who already, and I don't use the term normal, but you thinking that your child would be normal. I'm sorry if I offended anyone, if that's the term I want to use. And then you realize that they're not, they're on a spectrum, so they're not acting the average way of a regular child. It's already pressure on them. So you can imagine taking your child out in public and then everybody just scrutinizing them and thinking, oh, something wrong with your child or something wrong with you. That is a problem. At what point are we going to get to saying, hey, do you need some help? Do you need me to help you with something? Do you just ask? If they don't want to, that's fine. But you be the person to initiate. It's okay. Even if you, oh man, one hug, one pat on the shoulder, one word of encouragement. You're an awesome mom. You're an awesome dad. You're doing an awesome job. Can go a long way.
That's right.
Can go a long way. We're gonna take our break now, right, TZ? Because TZ's doing this. All right. What are you doing? All right. Let's take a break, and after a break, we're gonna hear from Jude. He's been so patient with us, y'all. Oh my goodness. Love you. All right. We're gonna take a break. Let's get it. Because I want to talk to Jude, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So let's see if I could ask. Dasa, put some stuff on the screen. I know the feeling. You just can't pay attention to them. You know your child. That's all that matters. People are just clueless and ignorant. I love that response. I love that. And that's why we have things like this and shows of such. And Reach has institution and there are other institutions, right? Or is Reach the only one?
With who?
With creating awareness for autism.
No.
I don't know if there are others. I think a lot of people are doing some of their own things.
Private things.
Yeah. Or having seminars or different things.
Okay.
Reach is the
more dominant one. Yeah.
But not so much governing. We don't, but we welcome all to participate. We have a further reach, and then we embrace no matter where where you fall in terms of the economic ladder, rich or poor.
Right.
So we embrace them all, everyone.
And I can't wait to speak to Kim. Kim, I hope you're ready. Prepare yourself, please. Prepare yourself, please. I'm putting you on blast. Please prepare yourself to be on camera. I sent you the link. She rowing me right out. I can hear it in the spirit. Prepare yourself because we want to put you on the show about 7:15. We're going to get you on live. All right. Thanks.
Reminding the program, these are the things.
Hmm?
You have to remind them the program, these are the commercials.
They weren't in. Did you put them in? I appreciate that. They have to be in. They pay the bills.
Hmm?
Those they pay the bills.
Program.
Right. They're not. Okay, we'll deal with that. Okay. I need to come out of this one and go into your lane because I'm not seeing all of the responses and I want to read the responses. Am I back? Welcome back. For those who've been tuning in, thanks so much for being patient with us with the show. And I know that you have been informed, and those who may not know about autism and what some of the symptoms may be or the signs that you may see. I'm glad that you're tuning in so that you could know. And especially for parents who feel as if they're at their wits' end, they don't know what to do. You have two representatives here who are showing you, hey, we can do it. Always we depend on Christ, we depend on our spouses, we depend on our community. We have one. That's important to have a community, all right, just to help you along the way. But without further ado, I want to introduce to you a special guest. Y'all ain't a specialist, Jude. Okay, I just want y'all to know. All right, but we have a special guest in studio. His name is Jude Miller. Jude, welcome to your Lane Talk Show. How are you?
Doing great.
That's wonderful, Jude. Jude, you don't have my heart, Lord. You don't have my heart. So, Jude, oh Jesus, now you know I like manners. No, but seriously, let's start. I have some questions for you, and one thing I wanted to ask is, can you share a bit about your interests? First of all, let's talk about things that you're interested in. What are your hobbies? What do you like?
Well, I love working heritage seafood, and then I went to UB to culinary arts, like cooking and baking, and lots of other things.
I love that. You love to cook and you love to bake.
Yes,
That
ma'am.
is wonderful. That is wonderful. What are some of the things, I guess, that makes you feel happy outside of cooking and baking? What makes you feel happy?
What makes me feel happy?
Mm-hmm. Do you draw? Do you color? Do you paint?
Well, I play piano.
Oh, so that
Okay.
brings you joy? Yeah, it doesn't?
I
Doesn't
don't
make
draw a picture.
No, she
Okay.
thought you said draw.
you don't draw. But when you do play the piano, it makes you feel happy?
Yes, ma'am.
I love that. What are some of the songs that you play?
Goodness of God.
Oh, yes.
We
With
love
my
that
keyboard, I
song.
need to bring that here.
Play those.
I need to bring it here. I love it. I love it. Now, Jude, we just want to ask you one or two questions about, while you were growing up. I'm trying to find a way. What was it like growing up in school, in your primary and high school for you?
High school,
What school you went to?
South Haven.
Tell me about that. Did you like being in school?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
You had friends?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And how was it for you during playtime?
Playtime?
When it was lunchtime and playtime for you?
Well, I was just hanging around watching them play.
Just hanging out.
Just hanging out. Did you play with them at any point?
I play basketball.
Love it.
Yes, ma'am.
And you enjoy basketball?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Um, I'm now that I get a feel of how he answers questions because I didn't, some of my questions were a little complex. All right. How do you, and I think you use piano, but you may say something else. How do you best express yourself? That might be too complex. Say, how do you, when you want to tell your parents or your friends something and they don't understand you, how does it make you feel?
It makes me feel terrible.
Right. So what do you do to help them to understand you?
How to do things right.
Mm-hmm.
About sharing. And about sharing about sharing that you share food, like, well, different things.
Mm-hmm. I love that you give and you share. You're kind. I love that about
Thank
you. Yeah. Can you tell me what is, because you're in UB now. How's that experience for you? Do you like being in college?
I love to be in college.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am.
And how does it make you feel while you're there in classes?
Happy.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have friends in UB?
Destiny.
Oh, a girl.
A
Yes.
girl.
You watch it, Miller. That's a girl.
That's
friend.
all right. That's all right. That's all right. No, but that's wonderful. So she's kind to you, and I'm sure you're kind to her because you're a kind person, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. And you're studying what?
For exam.
What are you taking up at UB?
Cooking.
Cooking.
Cooking. What is your favorite meal to cook?
My favorite is chicken
How do you cook it?
that you put in the fryer.
Curry chicken? Baked chicken?
Listen, now Denise, this your show or my show? Which one it is? No, that's fine. That's fine. I love your questions too. But tell us, because Denise want to know
Making
what type
pork
of
chop.
chicken
Oh,
you
you had a
cook.
pork chop.
Oh, I love it.
I love pork chop.
Mm-hmm. So you do pork chop, you do curry. What other foods do you do?
Curry. I didn't do curry.
Oh,
Sorry.
Denise, you fired. Denise fired. Denise, tell me you did curry. I'm sorry.
I was asking.
What?
What I was
What?
doing,
Uh-huh.
well, making rice
Uh-huh.
to go with a pork chop.
Yes.
Rice, okay.
Rice.
Oh, rice. Sorry, Chief.
Denise, someone put a little tape right there.
At least you can hear me clearly.
Well, I was planning on doing a presentation for Chef Saunders.
Yeah.
Oh,
See how it tastes.
So what is the presentation that you're doing? What's the menu?
A presentation is like you get the plate,
Yes.
put it in the oven, let it warm. Then we put the food on it. It's just like presentation. That's how it is.
I love that.
You should
And-
invite him back to do a presentation for the show.
No.
Just wanna eat.
DZ's saying
Just
I
wanna
need to bring him back to put him in the show.
Culinary and baking.
You ready to eat?
Show-
Denise,
show
DZ
should
just wants to eat, but the show should benefit everybody. Okay, it's not about that today. Okay, DZ. All right. So you love cooking. Is there anything else that you do besides cooking and playing the keyboard? Because those are the two that I heard that were very significant to you.
Well, I was working
Where do you work?
here to seafood.
What do you do there?
When I was making boxes for the lost crawfish and put them in the freezer to let it freeze. And then after that, we mastering them. And then we put them in them container.
Yeah.
And then
Hard worker.
hard worker.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Very hard worker. So you love what you do.
Yes.
All
I love
right.
work.
All right.
Amen.
So, Jude, after you are done, do you make meals for your family? Because that's a really good question. I know you do
Yeah.
it for school, but do you make meals for your family?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And who eats the most of your meal? Your mommy or your daddy?
That is
Oh,
Of
daddy.
course,
Daddy
that's
eating up all the
answer.
food. I
Daddy.
got you. I got you. Um, and these other questions I'm not gonna ask. But can I ask you, this is my final one to you though. What advice, first of all, do you know that you're on the autism spectrum? Do you
Huh?
know that?
What?
Does
Say
he
that
know that?
again?
Are you autistic?
I'll take some what?
Are you? So he doesn't know. Help me.
Yeah, so yeah, so he knows he knows that something is wrong, and we often mention it.
Right.
But he doesn't know that I'm on the autism and what that means.
Okay.
Right. He knows the associated reach, the challenges, and he knows he has challenges. And he
Okay.
says it often.
So Jude, do you
that's
mind
a
sharing what you think some of your challenges are? What are your challenges?
My challenges are, well,
What are some of the problems with that? You just ask for prayer.
well, I was had attitude.
Attitude.
Yep.
Child, I need that too. You asked
I
for
have
prayer for that.
challenges too.
I have challenges too with attitude. Go ahead.
Well, I have an attitude. Seeing these bad things.
Seeing bad things.
Saying these bad things. And saying dumb and stupid. That's making me saying these bad. And then I was talking back to my mom,
Mm-hmm.
and I could get very annoying at her. And then I saying, Lord, give me patience.
Oh yeah.
I say that every day.
Amen.
Uh-huh.
I need that every day.
Mm-hmm.
And next, I was been talking to Dad about that. Well, I was just getting my brain was not it wasn't working because I was saying it's nonsense, foolishness.
Yeah. Well, Jude, I want you to know that you're very special. I want you to know that I have preteens. I'm telling you, I have children that are younger than you who doing everything what you just said just now. Okay. And you thinking something wrong, ain't nothing wrong with you. Okay. Because they give me attitude too. You know, they say some things as well. Even us as parents, we say some things and think some things and do some things that we're not supposed to. But you sound like someone who knows Jesus. Do you know Jesus?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And you pray?
Yeah, I just prayed.
Yes, yes. And so it's just he hears your prayers. So even every time when you think that you do something that is wrong, you just talk to him and say, Jesus, please forgive me. All right.
Yes,
You say
ma'am.
that but you are an awesome teenager. You're doing awesome things. You're doing great things. There's nothing wrong with you. Don't think that something is wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You are awesome. You were created by God Himself. He placed you on this earth for a reason, and you're going to do wonderful. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And so one of these days, I want your daddy to record you playing the piano for me because I want to hear it. And when you play it, I want to play it on air so that everyone else can hear it as well. Okay. And DZ, because he greedy, he wants to taste your food, but that's on another day. And I ain't even talking about that today. But I want you to know that you are making a huge impact on so many people right now who are listening to you right now. Now, if it's something that you want to talk, if you want to tell another teenager something, or another little boy, another little girl something, if you want to encourage them, or if you want to tell them something good, what would you tell someone who's listening to you right now, Jude?
Well, my brother was, well, my brother Jordan, he's continue like amused.
She said, "Would you tell someone?"
Would you tell someone who you think may be feeling the way that you feel sometimes?
Well, I feel terrible.
So how would you tell them?
How would you help them?
By
What you tell them to do to help them to get better?
get to do the right thing,
Yes.
not wrong thing. Something like that.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's good advice. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. Right?
That's right.
Awesome. And is there anything else that you want to say? You want to say anything to your mommy? You want to tell her you
Well,
love
my
her?
mom was
What do you want to tell
well
your mommy who's listening to you right now?
saying, being rude to her, and I apologize.
Oh
Oh
yes.
Lord.
Amen.
That is where the waterworks come in. Lord Jesus.
Good job, Joe.
Good job, Jude.
Thank you.
Mhm.
I have to reiterate that children, they misbehave sometimes, okay?
Yep.
Doesn't mean something's wrong with you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to know that you're very special.
Thank you.
Very special. Oh, y'all don't draw me up. Ain't gonna more break say. Huh? Okay. All right. I want Kim, are you ready? We're gonna get Kim and Q. Let's get Kim and Q, please. She's not logged in. Kim, can you log in, please? All right. So let me go back to the parents. Jude, you were wonderful. Let's get back to the parents real quick. In what ways has your
Very good.
child enriched your life and those around you? We've already seen what Jude does, Ricardo, but you could still talk about it. Like, what are some ways that he has enriched you?
Yeah, he's a blessing, man. I tell you, sometimes even with kids that I say quote unquote normal, to get them to do a task is challenging. But Jude is the gardener for the house. So I mean, I have a yard, and I used to pay someone to do. I don't do it anymore. Once we tell him now, because I taught him how to do it. And once he just goes and he do it. I don't have to supervise him with the lawnmower. I don't worry about him getting cut. He uses the weed whacker and he does a good job. And so he's reliable. So those are the characteristics I find with him. Yeah, he could get upset at times because he don't like the change. If he's doing something, he's watching his YouTube or whatever, no fool with him. But we up there and he get upset sometimes. But we teaching him no. But once on task, he's good. So I taught him a number of things. I taught him how to change tires. So he does that. I don't even have to bend down and do
Awesome.
that anymore.
Okay.
When he come home, he gets the jack. I say, hey, my tire flat, I need the tire changed. And within 5-10 minutes, that's just like a tire. He could go get a tire shop. He can change that tire out for me. So we have to. I'm really pleased with him. He's very reliable. You can get you even if I want something in the kitchen. I say, Jude, I want this, and if it's something once I know what it's something you do, I just tell him do it. He does it because he likes the kitchen. He'll go there and he'll do it, and his food is edible. His food, he's really I really love him and appreciate him. And sometimes I was like, my wife says, boy, she pray for him to be normal. I was like, I sure I want him to be normal because sometimes they go and they drift and when I say it like that,
I understand what you mean. Yeah.
But when you get someone that's reliable, you always
Yes.
want them close to you.
Yeah.
And so I really appreciate him. Then, one last thing I said, boy, I gotta try to find a wife for this young man. So one day I just pray and say, pray for me.
No, but
Can
I don't know if
eventually
you
get a wife and have a family of his own.
I don't
So
know.
that's my next. What about next step for him?
I don't know if you've heard, but he already have a female friend. So that's you
Yes,
ain't
yes,
far
me.
from that. So
Destiny.
Jude, he knows about Jude. Do you have a girlfriend?
Joanna.
Oh no.
Like,
that's
duh.
a different name.
That is just a okay. Because you have me a little
Two
scared because it's two women.
women.
Do you have somebody that you like at school or church? Another girlfriend. No. Okay, just making sure. I know, but I can tell you, gonna make a really good husband. You are. You cook. You clean. You take care of the yard. You got the husband out there who ain't doing them things. But we ain't talking
But
about
I'm
that today.
teaching him how to drive too, so he
Oh,
can drive. I let him drive.
there you go.
Short distance. So there's certain things we have to challenge our kids.
Mhm.
Not, and again, it's a spectrum, so I don't want to seem that everyone is like Jude or
everyone will be able to
everyone.
do it,
Right,
yeah.
right.
So again,
'Cause
whatever that you try to get as much as you could
Out of
your
them.
kids.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm getting a message from Kim Gibson who's saying that she's unable to log on to StreamYard because she's only on her phone. But StreamYard should, I don't know, it should work, but she's having difficulties. Ricardo, I do have some questions for Kim, but I don't know if you'd be able to answer them, and maybe both of you should be able to answer. I'll try to ask questions that I think that you would know. And one of the things I wanted to ask is, you just tell me a little bit about Reach. Then, what is it about?
Former president. You do it.
Sorry.
Okay, so Reach has been around. I don't know how much years now, but it's probably close to 20 or so years. I don't know the exact year, but Reach has been around long. It's an advocacy group for kids with, particularly with autism, but it's not limited to autism.
Mm-hmm.
So we have parents whose kids may have hearing issues or challenge that's affecting them. So
Mhm.
because Reach, the acronym is really
Resources and
education
education
for autism and
and
related
related
challenges. The
challenges.
CH is for related
Challenges.
challenges.
Okay.
So it's related still to autism.
Okay.
And so we have a big community. We don't put while we do have a fee, let's say, for membership that's really specifically primarily for voting.
Mhm.
So we don't really require our parents, but we do hold different events like this to help raise funds. And one of those events
Okay.
is the walk and run, which will be this weekend at 6 a.m.
Thank you so much. So we do have her on now. Can we connect Kim, please?
Hello. Hello.
Kim, are you there?
Yes, I am.
I can't hear her.
Very low.
There's a new
Yes, I'm
board.
here. I
No,
am
because
here.
there's a new board. No, y'all don't want the audience see me and you rowing today. There's a new board. I don't need a headphones for the new board. Thank you. Okay, the once the audience can hear her, but I won't be able to hear her properly. If you could find a way to turn it up so I could hear her, please, so I could know the type of the thing I'm. All right. So Ricardo told us a little bit about Reach and what it was created for and what it is that you do. I one of the questions I wanted to ask was, and he did say that there is a little fee that you do a monthly
No, it's an annual fee.
Annual
but it's
fee.
only for voting. It's really
For
so it's not
voting.
really for anyone can join
Right.
free of charge.
Okay, so may I ask then? Let me see if I can hear you now. Yes, I can hear. I can hear now. Thank you. All right. How else does Reach get funding?
Well, that's an excellent question. Reach gets funding primarily just from fundraisers, and that's why it's very important for the general public to support Reach. We Reach would like to think that it assists families on this autism journey.
There's a feedback. This ain't working. Okay.
Can you hear me?
I'm listening.
You're still here, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
But this is like a. I'm hearing her later now. Okay, so I honestly, one of the reasons why I had you on, Kim, because I wanted people to know that that Reach does not have any form of funding whatsoever except for people who come in and they donate. And if by chance that I'm saying this, no, they didn't tell me to say this. Nobody asked me, but I am saying Trish Hanna, Coach Trish Hanna is saying this ain't working, is saying for those who may be blessed or touched in any way, who may be listening, whether you have someone or know someone whose child is autistic or not, that you would donate, right, to Reach Foundation. And if you feel as if, okay, maybe I won't be able to do so financially in any way, but I'm most certain that they will accept whatever form of support that you may want to render. Maybe you'll be a teacher to help with after school care or whatever. I don't know how they do it, but if you want to be able to assist in any way, please reach out to Reach. Reach out to Reach. Yeah. All right. And Kim, tell us a little bit about the fundraiser because I see people are talking about it here. What's happening this weekend?
So this weekend, Reach is having its annual Fun Run Walk.
Take that off the screen. Mm-hmm.
His annual Fun Run Walk, and it starts at 6 a.m. on Saturday at Montague. And we're inviting the general public to come out and not only get some exercise, but to also to support Reach, which is such a worthy cause. I don't know if Ricardo and Denise touched on it yet, but Reach. Well, firstly, I'm a volunteer for Reach. I'm not on the Reach board, but I can definitely speak to the programs that Reach offers that make such a difference in the lives and families of children on the spectrum. Um, Reach, offers a free, absolutely free therapeutic camp every year where kids come and receive not only free speech but occupational as well for a month long. And prior to families or children who reside on the family islands, because we know that the resources are limited here in New Providence, but can you imagine how scarce they are on the Family Islands? In most cases, resources are non-existent. So Reach is really pleased to sponsor the therapeutic camp free of charge. Reach also has a speech therapist on staff where free speech therapy is offered. Of course, there's a waiting list, but Reach is Reach is trying to make a difference in the lives of parents and families whose children are on the spectrum. I am thankful for Reach because Reach made a difference in my life when
Mhm.
my son was diagnosed many years ago, and he was actually diagnosed at age 2. And I know earlier you mentioned that children are diagnosed at age 3, but actually these days you can get a diagnosis from as early as 18 months.
Awesome.
Mhm. And I would like to also say that early intervention is key. So if parents are listening and if they're on the fence and if they think something is wrong, I suggest that they get um, a diagnosis or, have their child assessed, because early intervention is usually um, paramount in having the best outcome.
Thank you so much for that. I know we spoke earlier, Kim, throughout the week, just briefly. You and I have a few friends as well, some colleagues who have children who have been diagnosed with autism or on the autism spectrum, and the difficulty that they the mental state that they find themselves in sometimes can be so taxing and so tedious. And so, what I would normally recommend is that they find a community of people that they can, just share and relate. And I want you to talk about the importance of Reach being in existence for people like that who just need that shoulder to cry on sometimes, or just that support.
Yes. Well, I could identify with the feelings that both Denise and Ricardo shared. It's very scary to get a diagnosis of autism, especially in the Bahamas. Um, well, when Dalen was diagnosed, there were very little resources here. And for a time, I relocated for about 8 months trying to get ABA therapy for him because at the time, ABA therapy wasn't offered in the Bahamas. And so it's difficult and you feel all alone. But thankfully, there was Reach, and there were parents that were also going through this journey with the same journey I was on, and it made it less taxing. And I encourage parents out there, no matter who you are, if you have a child on the autism spectrum or with any kinds of challenge, get involved with Reach. Join our parent support groups. Join our WhatsApp group. We have a WhatsApp group with well over 200 um, persons, parents, caregivers, teachers. We have actually two WhatsApp groups, one that's specifically towards education, and another one where parents come together to share information and sometimes vent. And that is so important because you realize you're not all alone, you know. So, with the help of the support group and, of course, God, you can really come through this journey successful.
Kim, I know you said that you are not. Are you? You said you're not on the board. No.
I'm not on the Reach board, I'm a volunteer of Reach.
Volunteer. And so you have people out there who are listening who may not, once again, may not have children that may be autistic, but they can volunteer. Is that something that you would recommend? They
Oh,
come in and,
yes.
yeah. Yeah. So what
Oh,
are some
yes.
of the, what are, if you know, what are some of the positions that Reach may be looking for?
Well, eventually we right now offer respite care. It's
Mhm.
not constantly, it's not ongoing. Like we would have it for like 2 months and then it stops. So for on a Saturday, parents can drop their children off and get a much needed break for a couple hours. And
That's awesome.
I'm sure we can use more volunteers in that area so we can do it on a regular basis, perhaps year round. Um, we can, with more volunteers, we can have more programs. But for the Fun Run Walk that's coming up on this Saturday, we can utilize and use volunteers for that. And eventually, Reach would like to build its own building and have its own center and perhaps an assisted living component, because as we age or as our children age, we age as well. And
Yes.
then the question is, what happens to the children when we're no longer here? So these are all initiatives that we can really put into play if we can get more volunteers.
Yes.
And Reach is driven mostly by parents who have children on the spectrum. And these parents are spread thin because they're dealing with their children.
Balance. Yeah.
Right. And so, people out there in the general public, if you really want to contribute, if you really want to make the society better, if you want to do something meaningful, reach out to Reach. And yes, pun intended, reach out to Reach, because we can use all the help we can get. And sometimes the disabled community is very much overlooked,
Yeah.
and but it's there as a part of us. And if we can contribute now, it would make life better in the future for everyone.
I love that. I love that. So your resources, your time, whatever it is that you can do, you may be a teacher, you may be a therapist, you may be, just someone who just have patience and you love children. Okay. I definitely recommend you. Kim, can you recite the number, please, for them to reach out or email,
Sure.
however, whatever contact?
Sure. Well, our Reach office is located on the Queens College campus, and that's behind the Galaxy Bookstore. The office hours are 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The numbers are 328-4123 and 477-6016. We also, every Friday for the month of April, we've been wearing t shirts, and we're asking corporate Bahamas to continue to support us and, wear t shirts and help us to shine a light on autism. We'd like to thank those people who have participated in T shirt day so far. The t shirts have gone very, very well, but there's one more Friday left where people can show their support for Reach and those in the autism community.
I love that. One more Friday left, people. All right. So once again, you can go either at their location. Where is that? Rosetta Street,
on
Palmdale?
on the Queens College campus.
Where you get Rosetta Street, Palmdale from?
Queens
It
College.
I don't know. Y'all were never in Palmdale?
Yeah, we were.
Yes, we were
Okay,
in
yes.
Palmdale.
Okay, yes. I was like, oh, all right, yes. And then or you can, I think we have the numbers out on the screen for you to call if you want to donate in any way. Kim, thank you so much. I couldn't end the show without having to hear your voice, because normally when I do think or consider anything to do with Reach, I think about the Gibsons, and I want to thank you so much for the hard work that you and your husband have been doing, and of course the board and the team and everyone
Yeah,
else at Reach. Thank you
it's
so much for
it's a
helping.
team effort, and I
Team
think
effort.
yes,
Hmm.
it's definitely a team effort. And Reach, it just feels like a family,
Hmm.
and so I am grateful for all the members and the volunteers, because together we're stronger.
I love that. And once again, even to my colleagues, I have to emphasize just a little. If by chance you feel as if you're at your wits' end, please reach out to Reach. The numbers are on the screen there for you to call. She said where the location is for you to attend, to go in, and of course the website www.autismbahamas.com for further information. All right, so we're going to end the show now, but just before we do, we just want to ask our parents who were with us if you can just give us any word of advice to other parents out there, the new parents in particular, who may have just received the diagnosis or who may just be looking at signs and symptoms and not received the diagnosis as yet. What are some advice that you would like to give to them?
I would say do not give up hope. Hold on to God's unchanging hand and work together with your spouse, and just go through the steps, do the best you can do for your child, and just be cognizant of the fact that after all your treatments and all the help you give your children, you still have to live. You have to live financially. So be sensible in all of your spendings.
I love that. I love that. Ricardo?
Thanks. And I concur with Denise. God has been the source, and that's just not a cliche, but in fact, He has kept us through this journey. And in the community, there are a lot of sometimes separation, divorce that occurs when a child that comes along. So I want to encourage the husbands, the wife, the spouses to stick. And sometimes not even the men that leave. Sometimes the women, because women rarely leave their children, but some of them just couldn't handle it. So we want to encourage you to just hang in there, stick it through. If you're not married, keep the father involved. To say one of those occasions where the father shouldn't be involved, it really helps. So that it really helps you because it gets really stressful in that journey. And then also use Reach, the resource Reach has. And Reach does have a wide reach, and so that community, get into the WhatsApp group, reach out to them, let them add you. So you can hear what some of the parents, you can have your questions answered, because that's what we're there for each other. Thank you.
I love that. Now, listen, I can tell you again, Reach is looking for sponsors, donations, and volunteers. So please go ahead if this has touched you in any way. If you have a cousin, brother, sister, whomever, relative, neighbor, church member, the same church where Ricardo those came from. Yeah, y'all, I calling y'all out. All right, donate something, please. If you don't want them in the church to make noise, yes, Trishawn is saying it. All right, just donate some of the yeah. Don't go there, Trishawn. Stay focused. Yes, Jesus. All right, let me stay focused. But please, all right, please. And I can leave that there. But thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being a part of today's show. Thank you, Jude, for your patience. Jude, I'm like this. Yes, I. Thank you for being a part. If you need coaching in any area of your life, including premarital coaching, knowing how to restore your marriage, how to stand for your marriage, even when you feel abandoned in any way, or how to build a relationship, please go to my website, www.yourlanelifecoaching.com, so that I can help you with that. Go ahead, schedule a booking. I would love to help improve your life and your relationship. And of course, before we go, we want to say, salute our sponsors again, Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store. I want you to know that they are fully stocked with a huge selection of fabrics for all occasions. You can get from 50 to 75% off of laces. Oh, come on, because these laces good for prom coming up. All right, purchase your prom fabric at Carrie's, and you'll enter to win a luxury ride to your prom. That's money you could be using for something else, right, DZ? Right, you could save that little something. That's Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store on Mackey Street. They're located, their phone contact is 817-0758. That's 817-0758. All right. And if you consider yourself as someone who is intentional, values growth, and is always seeking inspiration and renewed confidence to walk in the fullness of who God has called you to be, fly up. I want to invite you to Journey TV Jubilee Season 4 launch party. Journey TV is a talk show that features strong and resilient men and women who transparently share their stories in hope of inspiring others to heal and thrive in their own journey. Season 4 features stories of triumph from their future wifey, Lateris Whitfield, entertainer Bodine Victoria, she's a Bahamian entertainer, those for my international viewers, author and motivational speaker Corral Pinder, Christian youth activist Beijing Rogers, film producer Ramona Wright. Journey TV will for the first time publicly debut teaser clips from their episodes. Enjoy live audience question and answer period, and engage in networking activities with other like-minded attendees. It's happening Saturday, May 11th at the Atlantis Theater. It starts at 6:30 p.m. And of course, this is the final day to get your early bird tickets. So go and get your tickets now at www.islanddreamsmanagement.com/Journey TV Jubilee. All right, so we're closing out, but I want you to know next week, y'all, next week, if by any chance you feel as if you've been doing things and not being seen, or saying things and not being heard, dating but your significant other doesn't want to commit, there could be a chance that you may have a spiritual veil over you. We don't know, because we're going to talk a little bit about it. We're going to have in studio our guest, Pastor Kevin L.A. Ewing, who's going to be talking about spiritual veils. Now, Trishawn, you got to go that deep. Yeah, we're going that deep, because you'll be surprised the things that happen. Everything that happens here naturally on earth has to first happen spiritually. So the things that we battle, what we think that we're battling naturally, we're only really supposed to be battling in it in the spiritual form. So let's find out what it is and what our enemies look like in the spiritual realm. And one of them could be a spiritual veil. So tune in next week. That show is going to be hot, hot, hot. Even if you think you're fine, your life is fine, nothing wrong with you, still tune in. All right, because you may have your neighbor, your sister, your brother, your friend who may be going through something, and you can identify it. All right. All right. So thank you to our sponsors, the Perfume Bar, John Shoe Store and Accessories, Your Lane Life Coaching, Nor Rice and Pasta Sides, distributed by Asa H. Pritchard, O. Henry Candy, distributed by Asa H. Pritchard, Libby's Vienna Sausages, distributed by Asa H. Pritchard, Carrie's Fabric and Uniform Store, Unity Gospel Party, hosted by Campbell's Production, and Journey TV Jubilee Red Carpet Event. If you are a business, is my final thing. And if you wish to sponsor Your Lane Talk Show, please give us a call at 376-8689. If you want to sponsor the show, we have some awesome packages to suit your budget. So please tune in. Please sponsor if you desire to. So once again, thank you to Denise, Ricardo, and Jude. Thank you to my producers, DZ and Odessa. To our continued Your Lane Talk Show guests, thank you so much. And listenership, thank you so much. And of course, Kim, sorry. Kim, thank you once again. Odessa had to remind me. I love her so much. Thank you, Odessa. Thank you so much, Kim Gibson, for being a part of the show and telling us and teaching us a little bit more about what Reach does. All right. So for those who've just been tuning in for the first time, thank you so much. And please don't let this be the last time that you listen and tune in to us. Of course, for this particular show and the previous shows that we have done, you can go to YouTube and type in Coach Trish Hanna to watch our previous shows, or you can just watch us live every Sunday, and that's on Your Lane Life Coaching Facebook page. All right. I pray that you were all empowered, educated, and encouraged today. And until next time, I want you to have a blessed Sunday. God bless you.
Amen.
Thank you so much to Facebook, Your Lane Facebook audience. Thank you so much for tuning in. All God, Jude can now talk and sit still. Thank you, Jesus. This is Mom. Mommy saying all God. Listen, Jude is a blessing. He is a blessing. You have a blessing, all right, of a child. And thank you so much, Jude. You're so special. Jude said, no problem. Just
So cool, man.
yeah, Jude, just cool. All right. So thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to sign off now. And if you have any further questions, I would advise that you go and call Reach Foundation so that you can get further information about how to deal with your loved one. All right. All right. So God bless you, and God bless you, Facebook audience. Have a happy Sunday.